A thread by Carlos Osuita. No, Tim Pool, no, Black Lives Matter was not hijacked by anyone. The three founders admit to being trained Marxists connected to the Weather Underground and Venezuela. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors said in a newly surfaced video from 2015 that she and her fellow organizers are trained Marxists, making clear their movement's ideological foundation, according to a report. Cullors, 36, was the protege of Eric Mann, former agitator of the Weather Underground domestic terror organization, and spent years absorbing the Marxist-Leninist ideology that shaped her worldview, Breitbart News reported. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers, she said, referring to Black Lives Matter co-founder Alicia Garza. We are trained Marxist. We are supervised on, sort of, ideological theories. NewYorkPost.com, Black Lives Matter co-founder describes herself as trained Marxist. That same year, Tameti was hobnobbing with Venezuela's Marxist dictator Nicolas Maduro, of whose regime she wrote, quote, "In these last 17 years, we have witnessed the Bolivarian revolution champion participatory democracy and construct a fair, transparent election system recognized as among the best in the world." From the New York Post, the agenda of Black Lives Matter is far different from the slogan. Guess what they have in Venezuela? Death squads. Isn't that special? Damn it, Tim, you have to move past your refusal to simply see things how they are. The information about Black Lives Matter isn't a secret. Venezuela is connected to Iran, which provides funding and almost certainly training for urban terrorists in the US. Remember when Donald Trump said he would designate Antifa a terrorist group? The experts scoffed because they said that Antifa is purely domestic and not organized. Therefore, it can't be designated a terrorist group. Well, wrong on both counts. Antifa is global, as is Black Lives Matter. Antifa is highly organized, as is Black Lives Matter. The only question to which I can't find an answer is the US government required by law to publicize its terrorist designations? Or can we keep that designation classified? My guess is, yes, we can. The federal government is prosecuting Antifa members, whereas in the past, cities or counties or states did. That tells me that the feds have indeed classified Antifa as a terrorist organization. Ms. Best Beer Belly and Butt 2020 is looking at 80 years in the federal pen. I have no doubt that a lot of Black Lives Matter members are like you, Tim, and didn't actually look into the background of BLM. Dave Chappelle is a broken record who needs to shut up about politics and social justice. He supported a dictator in making, Andrew Yang. Worse, Chappelle supports terrorist Christopher who? Damn thing can't. Worse, Chappelle supports terrorist Christopher Dorner, the mediocre, demented cop who saw racism around every corner and murdered innocent people in retaliation. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Multimillionaire Dave Chappelle. I have PTSD that keeps me from interacting with society. I got it because I grew up in a country where Marxist terrorists trained in Cuba were landed on the beaches to conduct attacks with IEDs and hand grenades. On July 20th, 1982, I survived a bombing by the IRA. I was close enough to feel the blast wave. Last night, I endured 7 straight hours of bombardment by my neighbors. Guess what these are? They're called cluster munitions. I could get the ones in my trees and on my roof. My PTSD manifests itself as homicidal rage, but I didn't go out and mow anybody down. Your hero, Christopher Dorner, never suffered any trauma whatsoever. He was a pussy, unfit to be in the Navy or the LAPD. It's obscene to hear a multimillionaire whine about how hard his life is. My father shot and killed 4 secret police officers trying to kidnap his children. I was in the car. I got to see heads explode. I got to taste the eyeball juice that sprayed into my mouth. When the terrorists came in from Cuba, everyone was afraid. My father was a combat veteran of the Korean War. He was very experienced in behind-the-lines operations. When his company got intelligence on the terrorists' next target, my father ambushed and killed them. He borrowed an FN FAL from the Army and waited. When the terrorist squad appeared and began setting its IED, my father emerged and killed all of them. People think the FN FAL is too hard to control on full automatic. Morons. The terrorists got what they deserved, and I'm glad that Christopher Dorner was killed and then roasted like a hot dog. Self-pitying bastard. Gutless pussy. Try having PTSD when you're being bombarded for 7 hours by fat imbeciles who have no sense of civic duty. I have no intention of ever breaking the law, regardless of what lawless, self-pitying drama queen pussies do, and I'll never listen to Dave Chappelle again. I find it very hard not to wish my life on him. Race-obsessed son of a bitch. Pandering turd. Grow up, Tim Pool, and screw you, Dave Chappelle. People like you are what's wrong with this country. Stand aside, Dave. You're another pandering pussy and compared to the fearless Hodge twins, former Marines.